The FBI executed a search warrant Monday at Brian Laundrie's Florida home after authorities announced that human remains consistent with Gabby Petito's description were found in Wyoming.
I was devastated. I sat in my living room crying.
It's just been horrible, so sad. Such a young girl.
A beautiful girl, life gone too short.
Laundrie, who's considered a person of interest in his fiance's case, has been missing for days. The former Long Islander lives at his parents' Florida home, where Petito, a Blue Point native, also lived. An attorney for the Laundrie family said the last time Brian's parents saw him was Tuesday morning. Police in Florida had been searching for Laundrie at a large reserve, but according to the AP, cops said they exhausted all avenues in searching the grounds. You can see in this photo a car being towed from the Laundrie home on Monday. On Sunday, Petito's dad, Joe, tweeted this image of Gabby, writing, "She touched the world."
She was a beautiful girl, very outgoing, loved life. She used to always go to the firehouse with her grandpa in the Patrick Fire Department.
Will hurt, it's very hurtful.
Petito briefly worked at Blackbird's Grill in Sayville. Bartender Danielle Servini worked with her.
She was a really nice, sweet, quiet girl.
At the Bayport Blue Point Library, the flag at half-staff in honor of Petito. The close-knit community grappling with the news.
Your life is basically over when that happens, I feel really bad for the parents, but what are you going to do? Thank God they found her.
I have, 4 children of my own, so I can't even imagine what this family is going through. I will say a prayer for them.
I hope that they get some answers and the closure that they need. They deserve it.
An autopsy of the yet-to-be-identified remains is scheduled for Tuesday. Again, the FBI said the human remains were consistent with the description of Petito. The attorney for the Laundrie family says he is holding a press conference on Long Island on Tuesday. Cecilia Dowd for Newsday. The FBI has confirmed that human remains found in Wyoming are those of Gabby Petito. The coroner's initial determination for the manner of death is homicide. Meantime, a search for Brian Laundrie, considered a person of interest in the investigation, resumed Tuesday at this Florida reserve. Authorities used ATVs and drones to try and find him.
Terrain's very difficult. Essentially, 75% of it's underwater. And other areas that are dry, we're trying to clear. So we're expecting to get wet by the end of the day.
Petito and Laundrie, Long Island natives who were engaged, had been on a cross-country road trip when Petito's family reported her missing after they suddenly stopped hearing from her. This affidavit and application for a search warrant for a hard drive found in Petito's van references communications between Petito and her mother during the trip. The document states, during these conversations, there appeared to be more and more tension between her and Laundrie. The document also references a, quote, odd text that Petito's mother received from her daughter on August 27th, in which she called her grandfather by his first name, which she'd apparently never done before. It says this was the last communication anyone had with the subject. Meantime, Utah authorities have released a 911 call that prompted this police stop captured on a body camera.
We drove by and the gentleman was slapping the girl.
He was slapping her?
Yes, and then we stopped. They ran up and down the sidewalk. He proceeded to hit her, hopped in the car, and they drove off.
But when cops arrived, Petito admitted to hitting Laundrie, and Laundrie admitted she'd hit him. No charges were filed. In Petito's hometown of Blue Point, these ribbons dotting the streets in her honor.
She was a girlfriend of my nephew in high school. Just a beautiful, sweet girl, and it's just tragic. I've been following the story since it broke, and it's just very upsetting.
Reporting from Blue Point, Cecilia Dowd for Newsday. Where Bayport meets Blue Point, a tribute to Gabby Petito. The loss of one of their own felt deeply in this tight-knit community, a community that promises never to forget.
Our community is heartbroken.
Everybody's sad. It's kind of like a shattered community.
Grandfather came in the other day, crying hysterical. It broke my heart. I didn't know what to say to him.
Petito's remains were found in Wyoming. She'd been on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, who is missing and considered a person of interest in the case. The search for him continued Wednesday near his home at this Florida reserve.
We've deployed numerous resources, and we are trying to cover every acre in this preserve.
Police in Northport, Florida say the search includes dive teams and boats.
Our law enforcement partners, they're motivated and they're hungry to find Brian Laundrie.
In Petito's hometown, the number of teal ribbons lining the streets continues to grow.
Color is for Gabby's eyes.
Jennifer McNamara is a family friend.
We in Blue Point are all devastated. We're heartbroken, but we will rally around this family because that's what we do in this community.
Here beneath the sign on Montauk Highway at Nichols Road, you can see people have dropped off flowers over here, and here's a teddy bear with a balloon.
This should never be. I pray for her soul to rest. I prayed for him to be found and her to be brought to justice, and for the families to be able to cope with this.
Reporting from Blue Point, Cecilia Dowd for Newsday. A fitting tribute to a young woman known to light up a room. Candles throughout Gabby Petito's hometown of Blue Point were lit Friday night in her memory.
We just feel absolutely horrible for what this family has had to go through, and they have so many people who are behind them and want to show them support.
It's just so sad, but it's so nice to see everyone coming together to support the family and share in the moment.
Money raised from the candles going to Petito's family. The 22-year-old died while on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. Her manner of death was ruled a homicide. Laundrie is a person of interest in the case and is missing. Police in Florida continued to search for him Friday. Meantime, Petito remembered for her free spirit, her smile, and someone who loved life.
I think it's such a small community and such a great community that when a family loses one, the community loses one.
It's not only here in the Bayport Blue Point community where people are lighting candles for Gabby. Tony DeBarry said he'd be lighting one at his Medford home.
God has a spot for her right now and is going to take care of her very well.
It's a beautiful thing that everybody's doing for this girl.
We love this town so much, and we just want the family to know. We hope that they see that we just are all praying for them.
We just support the family, and we just hope and pray that we know Gabby is in a better place, and we just want her to be happy where she is.
Cecilia Dowd for Newsday.
The Northport police informed me that they were focusing on certain areas of the preserve today, and they were actually hoping that Mr. Laundrie could join them on that search. Mr. Laundrie has consented, and we are waiting for the call from the Northport Police Department to make that happen.
The search continues for Brian Laundrie. Authorities consider him a person of interest in the homicide of his fiancée, Gabby Petito. The Laundrie's attorney, Stephen Bertolino, spoke to me by phone.
They wanted to narrow down some of the places in the park that Mr. Laundrie knows that Brian had liked to visit in the past.
Do you know if they got some new tip or information or anything like that?
I do not know why this is happening now. I think they're just narrowing down their search based upon the inability to locate Brian on the previous days.
A spokesperson for the Northport Police Department in Florida said Mr. Laundrie was not a part of the search Wednesday and directed me to the FBI. A bureau spokesperson would not comment, saying it is an ongoing investigation. Is there anything that Brian's parents, Chris and Roberta, would like to say to the Schmidt and Petito families?
We have no comment on that issue right now.
There is a warrant out for Laundrie's arrest for unauthorized use of a debit card. The attorney for the Petito and Schmidt families said on Dr. Phil that it belonged to Gabby Petito. I asked Bertolino why Laundrie's parents don't make a public plea for him to come home and turn himself in.
Two reasons. One, the parents don't believe he's watching the news in any way, shape, or form. Number two, they believe he's in the preserve or some other type of, wilderness area if he has left the preserve.
In Blue Point Thursday, Petito's grandfather visited her growing memorial. He declined an interview. On Dr. Phil Wednesday, Petito's family pledged to keep her spirit alive by creating a new foundation in her name. As for Laundrie,
I want to look him in the eyes. I want to see him in a jail cell for the rest of his life, where he's an outdoorsman, being in that concrete cell, and he can't go see those trees and hug those, and smell the fresh air like that.
Cecilia Dowd for Newsday.
And the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito We find the cause and manner to be death by strangulation, and manner is homicide.
Gabby Petito died by manual strangulation, throttling. That's according to the Teton County coroner in Wyoming. Dr. Brent Blue says DNA samples were taken by law enforcement.
Her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
As the autopsy results were being given to reporters across the country, Petito's mom and stepfather visited this memorial for their daughter in Blue Point. You can see Jim Schmidt blowing a kiss before leaving. Authorities continue to look for Petito's fiancé, Brian Laundrie, considered a person of interest in the case. The attorney for the Laundries said in a statement, Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he is located, we will address the fraud charge pending against him. Dr. Blue was asked about Laundrie.
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement.
The coroner said he couldn't give further details on the autopsy results, citing Wyoming state statute. The memorial here in Petito's hometown continues to draw those who knew her and those who didn't.
Like they say, she's America's daughter, and now that the autopsy just came out, I just wanted to come place some rosary beads down over there in memory of her and pray for her family.
We just hope the family gets justice for her. It's just so sad.
Cecilia Dowd for Newsday. A Florida medical examiner's office says Brian Laundrie killed himself. The cause of death, a gunshot wound to the head. His remains were found last month in Florida. Laundrie was named a person of interest in the homicide of Blue Point native Gabby Petito, who died by manual strangulation. The couple had been on a cross-country road trip when Petito's family stopped hearing from her. Her remains were discovered in Wyoming in September. As for where Laundrie got the gun used in his suicide, that remains unclear. The Laundrie family attorney says there had been guns in the Laundrie home belonging to Brian and his father. He says the Laundries voluntarily surrendered them to authorities on September 17th, and that's when they noticed a pistol was missing. Meantime, the attorney for Petito's family said in a statement in part that they won't be talking now at the request of the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Teton County Prosecutor's Office so that the FBI can continue their investigation. The case has gained international attention. For the Bayport Blue Point community, it's personal and it's painful.
I'm just heartbroken for both families. I lost a daughter myself in a car accident 19 years ago, and I know what it's like to live through it.
Eileen Edwards knew Laundrie. She said he dog sat for her for a couple of years. Edwards said he dog sat just until he graduated from high school.
If I had to describe him at the time, number one, I trusted him implicitly. He took care of my dogs. He had a key to my house. He was a bit on the quiet side, a little shy. I thought he was a lovely young man.
The whole situation is very sad. 2 young lives destroyed like that. It's unbelievable.
The Laundrie's attorney tells Newsday that Chris and Roberta are still mourning the loss of their son and are hopeful that these findings bring closure to both families. The once overflowing memorial for Petito at the spot where Bayport meets Blue Point has been taken down. The Chamber of Commerce president says Petito's family came and collected the items. But this remains, a large mural of Petito for all to see, just steps from where the memorial had been. Cecilia Dowd for Newsday.